Today we have the Arrma Kraton EXB Extreme Bash. It's a 1/8 scale truck designed for extreme bashing, and today we test it. This EXB model comes assembled, but it doesn't include any electronics. So we're gonna add them all, speed run the truck, and then extreme bash it. Here it is, the Kraton EXB. Now this truck does come assembled with a painted body and tires and wheels, but there are no electronics included, which makes this perfect for those who want to custom spec out this truck, which we're going to do today. Now for those looking for a fully ready to run truck with electronics, this is not it. Instead, take a look at the Kraton 6S BLX ready to run. Now, one thing that makes the Kraton EXB so cool and a great platform to custom create a basher are all the option parts that Arrma includes as standard equipment to increase the toughness and durability. Now, these parts are the EXB heavy-duty front and rear arms, the EXB heavy-duty steel turnbuckles, EXB heavy-duty front upper steel hinge pins, EXB plated limited slip differentials, the EXB red anodized aluminum servo mount, the EXB large volume waterproof receiver box, the EXB front bumper, the aluminum chassis braces, and the 7075 T6 machined aluminum chassis and shock towers. Now, just for the fun of it, I thought we would bust out our old Arrma Kraton right here. This kind of older, rusty and crusty. It's been beaten and bashed pretty well, but it's one of the V2 or V3 trucks. I'm not quite sure. That's why I left the body on for you guys that would know. But if you take a look at that older platform and compare it to the newer and modern EXB, there are a lot of updates and revisions that have taken place on the Kraton platform to really just kind of polish it up. All right, to finish off this EXB, here's what we're gonna use. For servo power, we're gonna use the ProTech 370 TBL because it's very powerful and mainly because it's waterproof. For the servo horn, the EXB includes a metal horn that we're gonna just plop right on here. It's already 25 tooth, which is perfect. Next, we'll use this MXV Sanwa transmitter along with this RX37W waterproof receiver. Next, we have a Castle combo. So for the ESC, we have the Mamba Monster X 8S. And for the motor power, we're gonna use the 1717 Castle motor. It's a 1650 kV. So this Castle combo system will provide us with a brushless, censored, and 8S system. Now to power this Castle system, we have two ProTech 120C 4-cell batteries. These are primarily used for competition because they're really thin. This is a 4-cell battery that they fit into a 2-cell case size. And inside the Arrma Kraton, the battery compartment's kind of limited unless you're gonna custom hack it up, which we don't want to. So instead, these fit perfect with a little bit of room to spare. Our run times will be limited, but we're gonna have plenty of power. Lastly, we're gonna try these RC Pro Plus S7 connectors for a couple of reasons. One, when you connect them, they snap in a little bit, so hopefully they won't pull apart when we bash hard and crash hard. The second reason is that these have a huge current limit. It has a peak current of 270 amps or 230 continuous. And they're solderless. There is a soldered version available. They have the exact same power rating as these solderless ones, so we're gonna give them a shot. There's a slight issue getting the 1717 motor installed. There's a little nib right here, the material here for the screw that holds on the side guard. So I'm gonna pop out the screw on the bottom and maybe Dremel this down just a tad to get the motor in, and then I might just put an M3 nut on the other end. All right, guys, we've run into a little bit of a snag trying to get the batteries wired up because having the battery with the lead coming out the back like that is not gonna work. So we're gonna do something a little bit different. So we're basically removing this top cap from the front, and then we're gonna use our batteries in this vertical position here. The batteries are snug in the battery box. They don't fit quite right. They're a little bit big and bulky, so it's pushing out the edges a little bit, but I think it's gonna be all right. And we have our leads at the top, so there's plenty of space. One thing we did was we added an extra Velcro piece at the front. A couple of notes about this build. The motor, when we put it in, was in the reverse direction. With a censored setup, we need to go into the ESC programming and we reverse the throttle direction. You don't want to use the transmitter to do that. And then lastly, check out these connectors. So what we have here are orange pieces, indicate that these two are our jumper to connect to make A to S out of 2 4 cells. And then these are just the regular connectors here, positive and negative. Holy. That's a weird whine. I think it's the motor. I checked the gear mesh thinking it was really tight and that was doing it. It's not the gear mesh. Look how smooth it is. It's so smooth. Now what you guys can't see here is the speed run we did with the Kraton EXB and our GPS speed meter. Now essentially on 8S with the 12-tooth pinion that comes included, our Kraton EXB hit a top speed of 46 miles an hour on this strip. We filmed it, we recorded it, but we can't find the footage. Perhaps it was so pathetic that it deleted it itself. At any case, the 12-tooth pinion on this 8S system is way undergeared.
That broke something.
Check it out. The outdrive completely broke. Never seen it break like that. Each side of the outdrive just snapped. Upon closer inspection here, you can see that the dog bone, when it popped out, it also bent that sway bar. Now that we're in here replacing this outdrive, let's talk about these diffs for a minute. Now when this EXB was first released, some people reported stripping out the rear differential on those early trucks. I'm pretty sure our Kraton EXB was not one of those first batch trucks and has that issue already fixed. But our truck still came including this note and these extra shims. Now to ensure we didn't ruin the truck, we opened the front and rear gearboxes when the truck was brand new and everything looked good inside with both diffs having one shim on the left. Now when we tried to add more shims to the diffs, the tolerances were so tight in the gearboxes that we are actually bending the shims and we couldn't get any more on. So we put the diffs back in as they were and buttoned it up, and that's how we've been using it ever since. So is the EXB any good? I think most of us can agree it's a surface brute, smashing through the terrain, holes, rocks, tall grass, whatever the case, the Kraton excels in almost any terrain. But really, any 6S BLX Kraton will do that, including the ready to run. So then, is the EXB worth it? Well, yeah. For the guy who wants to build something from scratch, who enjoys wrenching and tinkering, and wants to spend the time to maximize his hand-picked electronics to the truck, that's definitely worth it. And there are a lot of ways you can spec this truck out. For us, 8S on the stock gearing was brutally torquey on the bottom, and I loved it. But it's difficult to tap into all that power without wheeling and rolling back, and we rarely squeeze the trigger all the way, which is probably why our 4300 milliamp batteries lasted us over 20 minutes. Now, we never had the RC Pro Plus S7 connectors pull apart completely, and they're impressive connectors. The only con I can say about them is they're expensive. So do we regret building the Kraton EXB? No way. Our only regret was not building this truck sooner. Guys, go check out the EXB and everything else we talked about with the links down below. You can also check out these videos for more RC.